Thank you so much for being here to our Masterclass. This is the second in our series in the piano strings program. Next week, we will have the Takash Quartet giving a Masterclass. This is an open lesson. The pieces that are going to be worked on today are very much work in progress. Today, we have works by Respighi, Prokofiev, and Ravel. The first piece, Sonata in B minor by Respighi, was written in 1917, which will be followed by Prokofiev's Sonata in D major. And this was written in 1943. It's actually a sonata that was originally written for the flute and the piano. And it was then transcribed, arranged for violin and piano. And then third is the Ravel Sonata. And this is a sonata for violin and cello. And it's not the traditional violin-piano or piano-violin sonata, but it's sonata written for two strings. And this was written between 1920 and 22, dedicated to Debussy. So thank you very much for being here, and let's get started. much. That was great. That was wonderful, beautiful. I love the sense of the poetry that you had. So actually, just a couple of thoughts, ideas, one technical thing perhaps. And I'm just wondering how much you sing with your left hand and how much you sing with your right hand. And do you have an answer for that as I open my violin case?
Primarily with the right hand and just enhance the left hand is what I hope for.
Mm-hmm. Okay. I actually feel that your vibrato actually is an effort to sing, yeah? And sometimes I feel that it's maybe doing its own thing, yeah? And since we're in this large space, I just want you to start again and actually make an assessment. Imagine 1 year out to be as far out as you can. And then see how it's coming out. And if the vibrato actually is supporting the kind of sound you want, yeah? Or it's kind of doing its own thing. And also for the right hand, actually, I know that you're trying to have very nice, very, very smooth, very legato stroke, which is beautiful. But actually, sort of mid-level, mid-length to shorter, something a little bit more spoken like that, to actually really embody the articulation, embody the color that you want in the right hand. Yeah, so rather than trying to separate, but to it feels like that to me. So, and then also the first thing I said about the vibrato. So let's try to do these two things actually out and try it. Yeah, so start again. Okay, so as you start, even so don't just let's just your body's doing fine, as the cue is very clear, but can you embody that character, that feeling already in the way you're actually feeling the right hand? It's not to do so much, but it's to feel it. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, so again on the right hand, yeah? And then what kind of sound do you envision actually for the first note? What kind of vibrato, what kind of resonance does it have for you? Yeah? And make sure you're checking that. So it's not just about what we want to do. I think you have great ideas, you always do. Yeah, you're very musical, very sensitive, but then it's a little bit like in theory. Yeah, you're thinking you have to do this, and you're trying to do it. And I think you're doing it, it's just maybe not in the right balance of things. I think we were talking a little bit about that in the last lesson, too. So it's important to assess, how is it coming out? Is this really working? Yeah? Okay, so what about yeah, so again in the right hand, embody the character, whatever you're thinking of in the right hand. So I see, your general technique setup all is fine, it's good. And that's good, but in order to get all the ideas out that you have, I think you need a little bit more sensitive sort of touch or thoughts that go inside your hand. So you're actually it's a little bit of character change, right? And when I watch you, your hand movement doesn't quite change. Yeah. So imagine what is that energy? Feel that energy in the right hand. You want to go? Second sequence. Yeah, and pa. Yeah, so then what you're doing is that you're not going ta, pa. That's what you want, right? So I see in your hand that it's a complete release. You have ta once you have the attack. But I think what you have as an idea is that keeping it a little bit more alive, right? So see if you can actually embody that again in the hand. And then release. Yeah. go ahead. Okay, and again, embody it. Okay, embody it a little bit more in the fingers. Yeah. It's a lot of this. Yeah. How is it different the third time for you? So you have the 3 sequences, right? So there's a third time. How is it different for you? How would you like it? Just I'm not so sure if I understand your idea.
Maybe more traveled, more experienced, maybe deeper.
Okay, and how do you create this deeper sound?
More pressure from the fingers.
How about the way you feel it in your arm? Do you feel it? Sometimes you feel it in the fingers, sometimes you're going to have to feel it in the inside of the arm. The inside of the arm creates perhaps the fingers actually keep it lighter, right? And then the sound, feeling, it's not to press, actually, it's less pressure. It's the feeling in the hand of inside the forearm. Okay, so can we try from actually, so in sequence we hear, and then, so you, so I see your hand go, kind of that. That's the sound we're getting. That's right. Yeah? Okay. Now here. That we can create sound that is powerful, I try as much as possible to stay away from pressuring and pressing, because we know that it doesn't actually have that effect of getting it loud. It just sounds pressed and ugly and not pretty, right? It doesn't actually project. So what I try to do is actually think of ways where that contact, is really, really, that magnetic field is so strong. And that's not going to come just from the right hand, in fact. When you actually could feel the pressure from both sides, right now I don't feel much sort of consistency in the left side, and not the fingers, but the violin. Violin is like a floor, and you're almost making the, like the floor kind of hollow at the moment. I want a solid, good, solid, vibrating floor, doesn't create, So actually the violin meets in the way with this very solid thing that supports the bow. The bow actually is heavy enough that it actually doesn't get sort of pushed away. So that there's an excellent contact. Okay, let's go from, that was a nice color change you had there, so. Okay, and assess it for a second. Where does it go? Where is your sound going? Where do you want it to go? And how do you want that sound to get there? Okay, is it sort of a sound that's going to surround? Or is it a sound that's going to project and go more piercing at whatever point that you want to bring the sound to? So it's up to you. There's no yes or no or a right or wrong answer. It's what you want, but be specific. Good. So beautiful. Good. So actually that was really such a solid, powerful sound. Without the sound being choked, which comes from pressing too much, right? So I actually want to, just in the interest of time, I like to skip a little bit and go to the next section. And in the beginning, it's great. We have this rhythm going on. That kind of takes care of itself. You know, you keep yourself engaged because by doing things, you're getting engaged. But then you start to have long notes. What happens? What can you actually feel as subdivisions? What character does a subdivision have, and subdivisions, you know, have here? And if you could actually, rather than just playing a long note, yeah, sort of the long note is sitting on the subdivisions, whatever that subdivision it is that you want, okay, with character. So if we could actually keep engaging the long notes, that would be good. So dum bum bum from there. Okay, dum bum bum da da dum bum. The difference between going from the E to the A, dum pa, what does that mean to you? I mean, why does he go dum bum dum da da dum bum ba? He could have easily gone dum bum bum da da dum bum bum, but okay, that's kind of boring. But so why did he do it, right? Can you make that much more enhanced? Whatever that was sort of behind the scenes, so to say, inside the mind of the composer, yeah. Okay, so that was good. Yeah, all these held notes, actually. Yeah, I think you could find probably a little bit more variety in some of them, because then they're always doing a kind of a crescendo, yeah, inside. And it doesn't have to be. It could be also be a little bit more flexible inside. You know, you begin at the same time, you end at the same time. Inside is more flexible. Yeah? That's a very important thing that we have in music, that it's not just metronomic. It has logic of regularity, but the inside of that regularity is flexibility, right? So anyway, this was good that you had a diminuendo, but all the other ones coming up after that, there's a kind of a crescendo. So think of how with the subdivisions you can create a different kind of a crescendo, not just simply always going towards the end. Yeah, and then also remember about the solid floor that you're going to create. Yeah, so otherwise you're kind of flying, you know, it's like a sort of trying to catch a fly, and then, you know, fly is going all over, we can't. And it's so much easier as the fly is stationary, right? Yeah. So in order for the bow to catch, yeah, okay, you want to be solid on the left. So there's always this release I'm hearing, basically, yeah? Could some of them be more connected, at least one of them, instead of lifting basically without any kind of a pitch, you're always doing that at one point, something like that, yeah? Otherwise, just see the big picture, okay? Don't look at one idea at a time. Look at the larger picture. See how your ideas are all put together and if they make sense together. Yeah? Okay, and then just, yeah, okay, do the same thing, easier. Keep thinking about that. That was definitely, you know, interesting and different, and it kept us engaged. Yeah, when things start to repeat, you kind of lose us. Yeah, and maybe it doesn't happen so easily in the beginning of a piece, and we're still towards the beginning of this, you know, 4-movement sonata. But actually, if you could always think about that, it's a good practice. Okay. Now, when you this really nasty place. Okay, don't panic. And actually, you know, think you actually have more time. Yeah, da-da-da-da. And again, don't forget to think about how you want the sound to be projected, sound to be traveling to wherever you want. It's kind of sort of falling short of that. And here, da-da-da-dum, I would try to actually circle, that space. And da-da-da-dum, and then da-da-da, da-da-da. I think we'll make it a little bit too difficult. Da-da-da. It will kind of shrink us if you try to go pointing at it. So try to actually circle and circle. Yeah, why don't you go from like 2 bars before? Yeah, and da-da-da-da, that you have even more time. And if it turns out to be a little bit behind, you're alone. Okay? There's not going to be an ensemble issue. Yeah, but I just want you to be able to feel a little bit more confidence and a little bit more room to be able, in other places you're thinking about the music and there's so many ideas, and sometimes you have so many ideas that it's not enough time for everything to come out. Here, the music is missing. Yeah, and ta-da-da-da, it's actually ta-da-da, it's rather singing at the top. Yeah, even though there's a little punch of an accent. Yeah? Okay. Okay, and then that was good, so we're going to go on, okay? So in this, what are you feeling inside the note?
Expansion.
Yeah, and the subdivision?
And 4.
Yeah, and the character? Bum, da, 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 da. I would actually, okay, so of course it's 4/4, it's in 4, yeah. But the subdivision, this is a musical sort of interpretive subdivision that we're trying to do. This is not about counting so much, but it's to feel what's inside the note. It's a little bit of sort of a technique of trying to see what we can get out of a note. Try 16th notes, yeah, and try actually da 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 da. And you can hear the difference when you go subdividing pum 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 versus num pum 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 da 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 da. They always end up sounding differently as you're playing along. No, so it's up to you to decide what you want to do. Yeah, but where would you like to start from? Yeah, okay. Yeah, and then even that sort of slightly, so it's not a retard, but it gets fatter. Yeah, it gets a little bit. So think in terms of the subdivisions. Yeah. Okay. Good. That's very different, and has this sort of pull that I like so much. Yeah, there's something that's actually a little bit crying in that. Yeah, and that I thought was very beautifully done. Now, something about this, when you have this, you've been going kind of fast bow, yeah? And which way do you want to move in order to trick your mind, so to say? Trick your mind to feel that you have a longer bow, right? Yeah, so don't forget. And when you do that, don't let the sound go hollow. Yeah, keep that contact, so the floor moves with it too, right? Embody. Subdivision. So the subdivision for the second one, I would still be in 16s and but maybe a little bit drier, yeah. Whereas the first one, you can use all kinds of imagination, how you feel inside of the sound, yeah. And that makes actually a difference in the color. Let's go from, and you start this new idea, new phrase, yeah? I mean, we've heard it before, but here in this context, it's new again. It's starting something. How would you actually, if you were just starting there, how would you start? There's a melody. Okay, and how would you sing without actually playing? Would you just right? Can you breathe as if you're singing it? Yeah. Okay, good. So let's do that in context, yeah, and then we'll go on. Feel wider. Breathe like a singer. Embody. Floor. Breathe. Subdivide. Another subdivision coming up. Yeah, and da-da-da-da-da-da. Again, you have more time. Da-da-da-da-da. It actually, if you go kind of easily, da-da-da-da-da, it loses power. So actually, sometimes making it sound as if you're actually making extra effort, maybe even struggling a little bit, makes it more of an impact. Yeah, da-da-da-da-dum, da-da-da-da-dum. Easy, yeah, it kind of sort of goes. And there is, composers actually use that very well. When they put more notes, that actually sounds usually more exciting. Why? It's not because it's faster only, but because there's more effort. That is that inner. The composers seek out more energy from inside us. Yeah. So don't make it so easy in this case. Just to show how much you're using that energy to squeeze everything into that beat. Okay. So let's just do the. And then when you have first time, so that's one way of subdividing inside your head. Maybe in 8, bum, 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 da, 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 da. In the second one, it's different. Yeah, in 16. That's right, yeah. Otherwise, it kind of goes over our heads. Okay, good. I think we need to stop for now, but any questions? No? Okay, good. Well, thank you, and we can continue another time. Thank you.